All right, here is the video review for Ocular Max Remix RMX-11 Tempo, aka their version of Steel Jaw, and a little different from their previous presentations in that it does come in the plastic cassette case, and the instruction slash logo is a wraparound, which is a little odd. I mean, I do wish it had been presented in the same manner as like the Ravage and the other ones they've done, where it had like the instructions like the insert in the case to make it look a little bit more like a cassette case, because in this case you can only just have a yellow cassette in the plastic cassette case. Not the end of the world, but that is how they did it this time around. Now, the one thing I do that is super weird about this is you got the bio card in there. Is that the instructions, the way they're printed like this, and then so you've got the steps 1 through 4, and then it comes down here to step 7, and to get step 5, you can see it's even half printed on this little flap to match up. So you kind of have to hold this in a weird way to get, almost like you're trying to decode a map or something, to get all the instructions in the proper order. And I don't know why we didn't just continue that printing around here, so you could have this be blank or some other art. Open this up and have all the instructions conveniently inside the wrapper itself. Anyway, granted, that could be a case of when they decided to go with a wraparound, that's how they extended to do it. This is just a little odd. Still readable. You can still get it done. It's just not sure why that happened that way. Anyway, minor complaints, because like I said, everything that you need is still there, including Tempo himself. So we'll go ahead and get him out. The transformation on this one, you can see there's a couple little stresses down here that weren't there when I got it, so be careful with those pieces. The scariest part is he has the same kind of, when you start to get into animal mode, kind of folding the body in half that their Jaguar did, except it's a lot scarier, and we'll show that off when we get to it. You just got to be really, you can do it, you can transform it without popping anything off. You just got to go really slow and careful. I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen, but I'll do my best. Anyway, so start off by opening up these little wing pieces. These kind of unlock the rest of the transformation here. So you just kind of get under here and pop these out to the side like that. And then you can, this side. Wait, no, we're trying to start right up here. Open up these panels right here. Top first. These little pieces flip up. And then these panels can flip out. Like that. And then this whole assembly here, this is going to be his main. And there's some cool stuff going on here. Like, I like how this flips up, and then to make it proper for the main, these inner pieces then rotate around. I think that's a cool little, just a neat little bit. It's fun, it's physically satisfying, it's tactilely satisfying, and I just think that's neat. Anyway, and then fold bring this paw out and around like this. Same over here. Rotated on the hinge there. Then these panels, you can lift the wings up like this. There's actually also even a little tip here. We'll get that in a minute. And then the back legs, you kind of want to bring out like this, and then flip the head up like this. You can see there's 2 ball joints here. This is where it tends to pop off when you transform it if you're not super careful when you fold it down into the lion mode, because these 2 ball joints, the way that everything separates, you have to get everything rotating just right, and you have to make sure to account for some of these tabs here on the mane itself as they fold into the body. There's just a lot of places you got to keep an eye on, but those 2 ball joints are the most likely places where things are going to pop off. And if it does pop off, you can snap it right back on. I do worry that it will eventually, if you have to keep doing that every time you transform it, you could snap either one of these posts or one of the clips that holds it. But I have not seen any stress marks there, aside from just the stress of, why is this not folding properly? You can go ahead and open this little panel up here as well. But bring his head around like that, and then rotate it around like that. His ears are straight out to the sides, and you can fold those up along the side of his head. Mouth does open. We'll get to that later. Take the tail, flip it out, and at this point is where we're going to start slowly. You can go ahead and bring the legs down if you want, just to get them free up a little bit more space. But you got to fold the body, and you can see it folds here, and the head wants to come up, and the mane, you've got to get the mane, fold these kind of up and in too, just to get them out of the way. Because these main pieces, these straight flat pieces here, are going to go inside this crack in the between these two main pieces of the body. But you got to get those up. So as you're rotating this, you kind of got to gently fold this down, while also, as you move it, you want to slowly kind of rotate these main pieces back. So when we get to the proper point, they'll go in between these slots, while also kind of lifting the head up on those ball joints and keeping these pieces from colliding here up above. And it can be a little bit of a... And you can rotate these apart. You just got to be aware of everything that rotates. See, and there we did it. We actually did it that time without popping the head apart. But if you don't do that properly, if one of these gets caught, or you don't rotate the mane, or you don't lift the head up properly, you can pop those ball joints out super easily. So just, and I should have actually rotated these legs out to the side as well and gotten them out of the way. That makes it a little easier as well. Okay, you want to fold these down, and you'll see those flat pieces go right between the body. And once you get to this point, you're pretty much safe, and then you can fiddle with that. So you can just fold the mane down and around, lift it up. So these come together up here on the top, and they'll snap into the body there. And then these pieces will then fold in. And once again, there's a post there, and you just tab this onto that post. And same on this side. I pushed this in a little bit, but that's okay. We'll just pop it right back out. And there you've got his mane, and then that can rotate down a little bit. The back half of the body, you want to bring this whole front assembly down, so these pieces that were down here on the lower half of the body, and they should tap together as well, come up to meet. They don't meet the mane here, because then the mane kind of folds down like that. And then this part of the body, again, kind of like Ravage, the back half kind of splits and folds up. Tail comes up, legs come down. You can bend them there, rotate have the shoulder so the ball's facing forward, and then bring the foot down and around like that. Also, at some point, these are slid off to the side for tape mode, so you just want to collapse those back down like that, just so the legs are straight. Bring his head up some. And then you got the wing pieces here, and this little tip flips. I was talking about that earlier. There's a little extra piece down here that hinges up to complete that. And you can adjust this. This can fold and adjust however you want for the right angle. He does kind of have, depending on how you look at it, a slightly brokenish back, just the angle of the body. But you can make it look natural. And it's just a cool lion dude here. And there he is in his alt mode. Once you know what you're doing in that middle part, it's a lot easier. The first couple of times, just go slow and make sure everything is fitting through the gaps it needs to fit through. But there he is. You see he's got the ball joints at the shoulders. He's got the swivel there, hinge knee, hinge paw, and the paws themselves are on ball joints so they can rotate as well. The tail can move up and down. Like I said, the head's on a ball joint so he can look around. His mane doesn't move. And actually, I really like how they did the mane here. His jaw opens. The ears can move up and down if you want, just like they did for transformation. And it's the same articulation on the other side. And just as a real quick comparison, here he is with Jaguar. Let me get him standing flat here. So there you go. You got some Autobot and Decepticon cassettes there facing off. So yeah, I do wish the instructions were printed in a complete row versus having to do the weird map foldy thing. Although, again, there is the intrigue of, I'm solving a puzzle by folding the map. And it's not that hard of a puzzle, but anyway. It's intriguing, it's fun. I think he looks great in alt mode here. It's a nice, and I like that they're doing physically like not historically, but like, classic sized, real life sized cassettes. They're fun. And Steel Jaw is a good example of that. Just be careful in the middle. Like I wish that were a little cleaner, but where the instructions were a little bit more clear, because the instructions just say fold body in half carefully. What is the actual instructions say? Fold main body inwards gently. This is you can bend the main assembly back a little bit for clearance, and then that whole process of making sure the tabs line up and everything goes to stuff just says fold main body inwards gently is the instructions there, and that's good advice. Just go slow, pay attention to what you're doing, and make sure all the things have clearance as you move, and you should be okay. And like I said, if the head pops off, you can snap it back in. I just wouldn't want to do that too often. Other than that, very solid, very fun transformer. RMX-11 Tempo from Ocular Max.